Hello and welcome to a highly awaited comparison of the new exotic gem to the Altered reality. The Altered was one in the group of lightly restricted balls after the USBC actions earlier in the year, and the worst of the situation is that it had to be discontinued. The Altered got really popular really quick. It is still being used by most people that got it, but the problem is that there are plenty that didn't get a chance to drill one before they were discontinued, and since it's been about a year since it was released, those that do have them and like them are now looking for backups and/or replacements. We've had a couple possibilities to replace it since then in things like the Infinite Physics and Reality Check, but neither are that close, and while the existing dark code is the closest, the shapes are too different. The Altered was a unique combination of a high traction cover that was also pretty clean and sharp. It's akin to the new REX cover, but it's not quite that clean or smooth. This put the Altered in play on a wild amount of conditions. It's not that it was weak enough to be useful on drier lanes, it's that it was clean enough and incredible from big angles that it could work. You might be at 4th arrow or deeper, but sometimes late in tournaments that was a thing. On the flip side, that cover still had the traction to get digged through oil, so it was one of the rare ones that you could start and finish a tournament with. It was clean and sharp enough to give lower rev or higher speed bowlers shape that they don't normally see, but strong enough to be more stable and controllable for higher rev rates. It was incredibly predictable. It was a ball that didn't really feel like you could throw it through the break point, so in situations deep into longer format tournaments, where stronger stuff was too early and sharper stuff was too clean or over-under, the Altered gave you the traction and stability you needed on choppy conditions where you were deep and chucking it, in addition to the recovery and drive to get back up the hill with power. Enter the exotic gem, which is the latest possibility, so we'll take a look and see. I think you can already see that the exotic has the same kind of visual but is earlier and smoother. The traction levels of the cover stocks are very similar. That's most of the familiarity you're seeing. The core in the exotic is stronger, marginally, but stronger, which is a part of making it earlier and slower. Plus, Microtrax is a slightly earlier and slower cover stock than the S84. So while I don't see the exotic being a replacement with the same layout, I think that if you drilled it a little weaker so it would be easier down the lane and stronger on the back end, it's definitely the closest thing we have to the Altered by a mile. As I continue chasing it inside with the exotic, it's the same general look as the Altered. It stabilizes and starts hooking around the same length down the lane no matter where I'm at. On the house shot, it's really dry outside and there's a lot of volume in the middle, but both the Altered and exotic are making it look flatter than it is from the point of view that they chew through the volume in the middle like it's not there, or they handle it like there's not as much in there as there actually is. With weaker balls on the fresh, they tend to be really strong from straighter, but then get really long and wiggly if you move inside because they're more affected by the volume. The exotic is really well balanced in that it manages the lane exceptionally well from left to right and blends the cliff while still getting good length and shape. So while the exotic is not a direct replacement for the Altered, it's definitely close and worth checking out if you have a matchmaker in the area, or with a slight tweak in layout, I think you can get in a similar enough zone to make it work. The exotic gem releases on December 9th. Pre-orders are up on Bowler's Mart. That link's in the description. Remember to check out my memberships. Thank you to all my outstanding members. Thank you for watching, and may the strikes be with you.